And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 LAN event here. We are in the lower bracket, Team Malaysia versus Newbie. This is the semi-final round, and it is going to be match point. Team Malaysia 1-0 up over Newbie, and Newbie might be eliminated this game if they don't pull it together. This is going to be maybe their last hurrah. Team Malaysia looks so strong in game number 1. We're able to take it in like 19 minutes, full dominance, full tempo, and really Newbie just didn't stand a chance in that one. But we'll see a very different draft coming out from them here. We'll see what they have in store for us. But thanks once again for tuning in here to Beyond the Summit. I myself am Blaze, and once again am joined by none other than Ryuuboruz. How's it going, man?
None other than Blaze casting. I'm good, man. I'm good. And I'm kind of, I might slowly be dying, slowly being more high or more tired or whatever one you call it, but I'm still hyped, man. I think even though there's stomps that will come out every now and then, Team Malaysia is still showing that dominating performance. It just asserted their dominance over Team Newbie, and it was really nice to watch them do it, right? And punishing them for those greedy picks, it was amazing to watch, and I hope to see it again if Newbie do it, right? Okay, so right now they have a Rubik and a Clockwork, but Team Malaysia, they seem to be snowballing every single game when they pick out Leshrac. They can put it mid, they can put it as a support duo with somebody. I mean, and they just get the ball rolling early, but can Newbie survive, right? Can they counter gank? Can they put something back on the board? Because yeah, there was only 2 kills last game or something, maybe more towards the end, but
yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Very interesting opener coming out from Newbie here. Rubik and Clockwork in response to the Shadow Fiend and later on the Leshrac. And they're going to pick up the Drow Ranger for themselves, so they can still go for something along the lines of a Wind Ranger. They can go for anything that attacks quick with range and benefit from that quite a bit. And of course the silence is really good here. Against Leshrac, against Shadow Fiend, Gust is a very powerful tool, and then nuking people down with right clicks is very helpful. So we'll see how they can kind of create space for the Drow. I think they'll run the Clockwork and Drow kind of like you see Clockwork and Sniper in 6.83. Just kind of provide that cog buffer, allow the Drow Ranger to keep distance from her opponents, and therefore just strike really hard, and probably go for an early Manta style this game, since she is going to be up against the Frostbite of the Crystal Maiden. But I do have one question for you. Knowing Moo's history and knowing what he used to be famous for, I would say a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, is there any viability for a mid Clockwork, or is Shadow Fiend just too dominant in that lane?
No. Now against a Clockwork, Shadow Fiend will have free reign. If they have support rotations over maybe 1 or 2 times, then yes. Then Clockwork will have level 6. Shadow Fiend can't actually stay in lane anymore, else he'll just get hooked constantly. If you do put Clockwork mid, you have to suspect for ganks, else Shadow Fiend will just take a crap on you. And obviously you're not going to be benefiting from the Drow aura in this case, because you're a melee hero, so it's definitely not ideal. And well, Drow, I don't know what's going on right now. It looks like I'm trying to figure out who's mid for the side of Newbie as well, right? It could be Drow. Okay, well, GG Newbie lose.
Draft loss at 4th pick, huh? But no, this does seem to be kind of I don't know.
You just got brooded, and this lineup sucks against Brood. This lineup is atrocious against Broodmother. You have Rocket Flare and Fade Bolt. That's it.
Wrath of Nature, dude. More Treants. Just got
Broodmothered. I would exit the game right now. Honestly,
all Furion needs to do is just type -gold 4200, pick up an Axe Scepter. Suddenly he has like an infinite supply of Treants coming in from the Broodmother centers.
This is what's gonna happen. All right, Drow's gonna have to go mid, Clock's gonna have to go top, Furion's gonna have to go jungle, and they're gonna have to pick up like an Axe or a Centaur and put it against Brood. I don't know. They can still punish the Broodmother. They can still run the dual lane, or they can still run your Clock mid or Nature's Prophet mid. They really need to have Drow in the bottom lane for that slow onto Broodmother. They need to have the lift, and then they need to have another reliable stun here if they really want to contest that, or they do the crazy strategy I said earlier with Furion jungling, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean very difficult, obviously, to contest the Brood directly and try to see what you can do there. I mean, she's going to control the jungle. She's going to control the lane. She's going to pick off the supports that really can't fend for themselves. Skywrath and Rubik, I think, are the two worst heroes to go up against Broodmother in the laning phase. They have good control, but in terms of actually like fighting against little spiders, they're just going to get picked to death piece by piece. They do go for the Ranger strat, though, Drow and Wind Ranger, and I'm kind of surprised that they banned out Carl instead. I mean, Invoker's really strong with the Drow aura if he's Wex in particular, but Wind Ranger is just the hero to get Precision Aura up on. So this is the second game in a row where we see Drought in Phase 2, but Wind Ranger still makes it through to Phase 3, and that might be a bit of mismanagement, but it seems like something that Malaysia feel that they can handle. They've got a lot of magical nuke, for example. Shadow Fiend raises, the Lashrak Lightning Storm, the Spawn Spiderlings. Wind Ranger is a hero that can survive really well against attacks because of her Wind Run, but she still has a pretty limited HP pool.
Yeah, I'm really confused as what's going to happen right now. Is this a clock support? I mean, Wind Ranger versus Shadow Fiend mid is what you ideally want to do. She shuts down Shadow Fiend the hardest, especially with the Drought aura coming into play. As we saw last game, Shadow Fiend had a really hard time mid lane. If he didn't get that bounty rune top, I would say it would have been extremely hard, because even though he would have gotten the 3 raises off, he still wouldn't have been level 2. And then you're out of mana, and you're still not having the additional souls. And there's a lot of factors into that 1v1 from the get-go. And Team Malaysia, they need a carry hero. What is their carry hero, Blaze? I let you do the honors here.
Taken down really fast. It's going to be a tough call. I'm
going to cheat. I'm going to pull up a cheat sheet because
that's the thing. You threw me off with the carry. I'm like, I don't think they really want the carry here. I think they're going to go for the core Leshrac. And so that
core Leshrac. I'm down.
Yeah, so Ketchum is going to pick up the CM. We'll be seeing Johnny on the Sand King. And I'll leave core Leshrac, because I'm getting that Lightning Storm max out is so good this game. Drow Ranger, Wind Ranger just drop so hard. They'll lose well over a third of their HP, almost half their HP, for each Lightning Storm on like a 4-second cooldown. Like, that's such an amazing spell to have in a core. But no, it's core Sand King. It is actually going to be Sand King in the safe lane. Could they run it kind of like you see Centaur and Brewmaster farming up the Blink Dagger early and just a safe lane farming role?
You know, they can still always swap during the game too. I mean, you could beat your head against the wall and it's going to bleed, and you're still not going to know anything else besides bleeding. But
sure. What is clear, though, is Newbie is going to be running a support Nature's Prophet. I have seen this from FY a couple of times. I'm not fully sold on it. It really depends on how you play it. If you play it really well, then you can make it work. But in this case, they're going to be under a lot of pressure from the Broodmother, and it's that extra level of greed. Like, it's so much harder to contribute with a hero who's constantly using his mana for the summons to farm efficiently. So we'll see. But for right now, I actually think this is going to be how they keep the heroes stuck. Essentially, what they can do is play a little bit of dynamic laning configuration. This is what I like to do when I'm playing just CM with some friends and like a 5-stack, is to actually run carry Sand King until he hits level 3 while support stack for him. And then as soon as he hits level 3, you give like Crystal Maiden safe lane farm. And that could work perfectly fine here.
I'm not against that either. It's whatever they want to do. They kind of had to change it up because of that Broodmother pick last. So then Team Malaysia, they can do whatever they want as the last pick, right? They can, especially with the Crystal Maiden, they can farm while stacking, double the efficiency in the jungle. They have the CM aura. It's nice to have with the Leshrac here, the Shadow Fiend. I mean, these heroes are going to be thriving, especially the Broodmother too. Having those nukes up often and early, getting those other heroes out of lane. This is definitely a CM game worthy, I would say, and I'm just loving the hero this game. And the best thing about Crystal Maiden is her biggest buff to this patch is Glimmer Cape. Like, she is the hero to get Glimmer Cape on, I feel, and you're not going to be punished for that mana pool.
So one interesting thing to note is that Sprout is actually a really powerful skill nowadays. It actually, like, if you won't want to like prioritize it in terms of maxing it out, but you won't put like stats over Sprout like you used to see. Now Sprout goes up to 6-second duration and 8-second cooldown. And I think that Team Malaysia won't be running much in terms of Quelling Blade. I mean, like, the Sand King could pick one up, but it's still going to be mostly tangos that chew through the tree line. So I could actually feel like if Newbie can actually get out of the laning phase and get off their feet, they have a pretty solid mid game with the Cogs locking people in, with the Sprout locking people in, and just pretty much setting up a fish and a barrel setup for the Drow and Wind Ranger to pummel through. So I like the synergy with the essentially a Nature's Prophet teleporting in and sprouting a target so that they can be instant shackled.
Yeah, shackles.
And I just like overall their ability to control people's position. So it comes down to getting out of the laning phase unscathed. And if they can do that, then I have some pretty good confidence for their mid-game ganking and fighting.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on it. I think Team Malaysia's draft, they really did outdraft them again.
Mm-hmm.
If they can find a way to shut down Ohio's Broodmother, maybe they have a chance this game. Else, they really need to emphasize maybe shutting down Mushi this game. Maybe pressuring mid a lot. They should be getting a lot of farm onto Johnny. I'm not exactly sure who is farming here.
Okay, so yeah, they did swap, by the way. KYXY is now on the left rack. It is a core less as we initially thought when those 5 picks came through. And yeah, Johnny will just be running your standard boots first, 4-position Sand King.
Oh, no, Shadow Fiend started with Raze first.
you want that free Necromaster stack, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
+2 damage. Can't be beat.
You really can't. I mean, that's... I should know the stats. What's 242?
What?
I'm trying to do how much a percentage increase it is for Shadow Fiend. My brain's not working right now. It's a 21. No, never mind.
Just don't. I would. It's like a 5% increase. It's almost 5%. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing June make his way up top. He's got his boots first. He's got his wards down. He's pretty happy, but still gonna be some long range harassment coming from KOXY, and I don't really think he can test the jungle too well for Team Malaysia. And that's, I think, a pretty important thing is Ketchigemba can just stack for the Sand King. Sand King can stack for himself. There's nobody that's gonna mess with those stacks. Like, you have Power Shot and Wrath of Nature, Fade Bolt as your AoE, Rocket Flare. Like, that's not stack stealing material. So eventually the Sand King is gonna get his Blink Dagger, and it probably will come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, June messed up top lane here. He tried to pull the creep wave. He only got 1 creep, and then he didn't stay close enough. And now he's going to be hurting a lot because he didn't get the block off, and he didn't get the wave pulled back. So, a Broodmother versus a Drow. This is the dream. The dream.
Oh, double disable coming out onto June. First the Frostbite, then the Split Earth, and June is suddenly down to 120 HP with only 3 tangos to bring himself back up. So, really tough spot for him. And then, yeah, the Broodmother is going to have a really good lane. Starting with the Mango early. Ohio's pretty confident with that. And then, of course, he's going to have the Soul Ring out in no time as he gets to just get a couple more Spawn Spiderlings out. And 1 Sentry will come out. I'm curious if they actually pool a Sentry over to Ohio. Because what you could do is you essentially lay down your Sentry and then immediately tango the enemy ward or Quelling Blade the enemy ward so that there's no chance for them to take control of the lane with Sentries.
Yeah, and he can always use his Quelling Blade to eat the sentries, as well as he can always eat out of sprouts. So Quelling Blade first this game is amazing on the Broodmother here. And, well, he's also got Tangos to work with as backup. So Spawn Spiderlings, he's already got 1. Get him. Get him.
Oh, yeah.
Get that.
And the little damage over time ticks onto Sansheng, just poking him down. 1 little spider does a lot of work, actually. He's going to be able to chip down a good 15% of that HP pool. Up top here, Clockwork getting himself a free bounty rune with a nice little cog play there. So June at least getting himself to level 2, but we'll see what he ends up doing with it. Does ping out the ward placed out by the Sand King just now, so... I don't think they'll actually do anything about that ward. They'll just keep in mind that it's there. You need your sentries for bottom lane, mostly.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough place to be in. Rubik needs to de-ward this, and they also need the sentries for the Broodmother. So this is when it gets scary. And June's only level 2. He needs to be ideally like 3.5 right now. He's really their only hope for ganking the Broodmother. Sure, they have shackle shots, but if you're rotating too much, that means Mushi's going to be getting a lot done. And as we mentioned earlier, there's just so many stacks to be had. You got Sand King, you got Shadow Fiend. I mean, the jungle of Team Malaysia. I feel like somebody just needs to go to ward that place out.
Yeah, and look at Rabbit here. He's actually taken a lot of harassment from this small army Ohio's been able to accumulate, and it's just going to force him down. If he mangoes, like, he's putting Rabbit within like 100 HP of kill threshold. So yeah, you have to be very careful around these spiders, and he's taking harassment without any regen available. So this harassment could actually cost him his life very soon. One Tango will put him back above 300 HP, but Ohio really just...
top lane. They got a Frostbite. They got a stun. They got June.
Got him. Nice pickup there. Going to be able to bring down the Clockwork. He did have this warded play to see catch a Gimba, but still he gets some range for the Frostbite, and the Clockwork just doesn't get back to safety fast enough. Now Ohio, bottom lane, has the Soul Ring. I actually think that either Sunshine or Rabbit are probably going to die within the next minute. Like, Ohio is pretty much hitting his stride right here, and there's nothing that they can do about these spiders.
Yep. Honestly, I don't understand what their thought process is. How are they going to shut down Ohio here? I mean, here comes the support rotations coming in. Nice TP, nice smoke gank. They have boots on Johnny. He can always catch up. And once the ball starts rolling...
They see him, but they're getting blocked out by the spiders. There's going to be a nice Nova. There's going to be the Burrow Strike, and that's your second kill. Rabbit going to be going down to the Crystal Maiden, and that's going to be Malaysia already starting off strong. Now, it is worth noting that Moo is winning the mid lane here. Moo is actually taking the CS, 2 last hits, and 7 denies over the Shadow Fiend. But that's just not only the skill of Moo, but it's also a bit of a matchup advantage. Now he goes for a regen rune play, brings himself back up. He's pretty much their shining hope right now. Like, Clockwork pickoffs, when he hits 6 will be great, but right now June's getting zoned out so hard that it's going to be a very long time coming, and of course Drow's going to get very little down bottom. In fact, she doesn't even go back to Brood's lane. She says, okay, we'll call Orca and we'll queue that up, but Mushi here in mid, Shackle, Sprout, Telekinesis, and the kill. They're going to be taking half of his souls away, putting a lot of damage in return as KYXY, but still a very important kill for Newbie. But even still, like, the fact that Drow can't go back to her lane, that's the draft loss right there. That's the Broodmother pick. It is that you can't actually return once you've died once, and now your tower's gone, your jungle's exposed. Like, what can Newbie do at this point? Even the Nature's Prophet can't find farm.
It's kind of like where you give up. Honestly, I don't know. Shadow Fiend can always get back into the game with going to jungle too. That's the worst part, right? Even if you shut him down in this early stage, this is the only thing they can do. You can only gank the Shadow Fiend. You can go nowhere else. And Brood rotating like this is really weird for me as well. Like, he can...
Gonna see Moo get caught up by a Burrow Strike here, but they're not gonna actually fully commit to this play. Moo's just gonna ward them off. He's gonna bottle up, and it looks like they do wanna... get involved in the bottom lane again. Oh, that's because Ohio's rotated top. Expends a few web charges up there and says tier 1 top is next on my list. So in this position, Drow's just essentially playing evade the spider.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ohio should just rotate back bottom lane again. I don't know if rotating top is the right play. I mean, sure, you can put up a lot of aggression into the enemy team, but all you have to do really is just gank June top lane, smoke gank around, and you don't even need the spider here. I don't know.
No, she might take a free tower for it, though. I mean, there's nothing to stop her. She'll just, every single time Soul Rings off cooldown, keep her spawn spiderlings rolling. She's now level 7. This tower is going to be gone in like a minute, so it's not like she's taking too much time to get a ton of free gold for Team Malaysia. That's a faster Blink Dagger or Sand King. That's actual items for Crystal Maiden. Midas is up for him. Like, he doesn't have to be in full pressure mode when he can just be in farm mode.
I just think June's going to get some levels out of this. He's going to be maxing Rocket Flare, and then Mushi, well, Mushi's going to be dead here.
Yeah. Nice rotations on the Mushi, at least. Took his Necromastery down to half twice over now, bringing him down a couple of times. He's done what he could in the lane, but honestly, he's just the most exposed target, and that they're always going to be going for that play, even if they have to commit everything to it. So Newbie even up the kill score, but I feel like the tempo of the game is very, very different. We're going to see June force back. We're going to see this tower drop down below half, and soon enough going to be just dropping down entirely.
Yep, with this web now up, then now June can't actually do anything.
Radiant structures
It
are
was the
fortified.
problem where, like, all right, we're setting up top lane. He's gotten his 2 webs down, but now that he's gotten 4, he's got a lot of access points. And tower's going to be going down here. Johnny is going to get vision out on Moo, but Moo can get Shackle here.
Yeah.
Ohio.
But they don't really have the detection, and now Moo's in a weird spot. There will be a nice Wrath of Nature coming across. Moo might be able to power shot down KOXY, goes for it, but only connects on Johnny. Oh man, needed that Leshrac kill badly. Instead, they just lose the tower. Last hit going to the Dire in general. And of course, mid lane could be the next target, or Brood could start just forcing the lanes. Actually, he hasn't gotten his Midas yet. Wow, what's that about? He actually still has the Midas on the courier. Cluckles, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just don't think even if they get the tower, that's still not pressure being put on Rabbit. He's able to catch up. He still has 50 CS. This should not be happening. Drow Ranger should be completely shut down right now. But Brew is putting a lot of pressure around the map, right? He's going to be going for this mid tower here, and it's forcing Rabbit to TP. Mushi still doesn't have a mechanism or anything. He's really poor.
Yeah, hard to go for the full 5-man push without that mech, but they're really covering Ohio, who's going to be kind of sneaking around the sidelines here, looking for an opportunity. He does miss a couple of targets, though, and he really wants to use this Midas, too. Like, he has had this Midas for so long, like, I would say 90 seconds he's had this Midas and still hasn't used it, but he's going to make a gank play up top, use the Midas, get some more spiders, and it looks like tier 2 top is his next one, so just going to keep on rooting around in that area where he can keep the webs in this impassable terrain and allow him to maneuver against Newbie.
Well, Banana will be going for that build, the Urn of Shadows, maybe to go for the ganks here, but this Furion, it doesn't look like it's going to be doing much. And I don't know, is it a wasted hero? I don't know. What is the Furion supposed to do? He's sure he got his level 6 at a reasonable time. They have the Wrath of Nature to really gank, but can they? I don't know. Can they even kill anybody? I feel like well, it's all on Clockwork. Let's look at Clockwork.
Exactly. He has to hit the hook shots. They follow that up with the teleport, the Wrath of Nature, and that's going to be kills, and that's going to be momentum generated. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid pickup. But teleporting away, KOXY won't get this done. But yeah, I feel like it's an awkward pick, but it's obviously this hero is not supposed to shine in the laning stage. If it's a Jungle Nature's Prophet, every pub player knows how useless a Jungle Nature's Prophet is for the first 10 minutes of the game. Like that is,
my Jungle Bloodseeker is 10 times better than a Furion jungling. Like what the heck does a jungling Furion do when he comes out? Not much.
Like the ganks on Mushi is pretty much the only thing you can expect from him. Jumping in, sprouting, or just blocking out the Shadow Fiend, assisting in a couple kills. That's what you can expect from Jungle Furion. That's the most you'll expect, because otherwise he's busy farming. But what he brings to the next stage of the game could be all the more important. So we'll have to see. Maybe the Wrath of Nature is going to be enough to repel some of the spiders with a power shot or a rocket flare. I mean, you combine those two together, and you've got some good AoE damage against these spiders.
I would say the spider repels the Furion ulti. If you're hitting all the spiderlings, then it's not going to be helping in the team fights, and that'll hurt a lot. And they have...
It just depends on where you click on the map, right? I mean, you choose where this Wrath of Nature goes. If you know the spiders are up top, you don't send your Wrath of Nature up top. It's proximity-based, so if you start down bottom right, it'll work its way to the top lane and not even be soaked up by the spiders. It just comes down to where you position it versus the spiders.
Right. But, I don't know. I'm not exactly sold on it. It just feels like they're just buying time for this. The Blink Dagger is up now, and then maybe for Mushi's mechanism, and then that's going to be the go time for Malaysia. Then they're going to make a lot of things happen. Whereas it's like, Newbie, all right, well, we kind of picked ourselves into this position right now. We need to make stuff happen, but we actually can't make stuff happen.
No. So I haven't actually been watching the Dire Jungle Seeker. Oh, yeah. Gonna get caught out here. Nice 2-man Burrow Strike coming out. They're actually gonna be able to nuke them all down with the raises. Banana trying to finish off Mushi, but he doesn't get the last hit. That's 22 HP surviving. A hook shot, not gonna connect, and Mushi just makes it home. The Rocket Flare trying to predict movement, but the TP takes him home. And Johnny getting in the cogs with the Burrow Strike, and they're just gonna be able to bring down June here. Oh, that's 4 out of 5. That's no loss for the Shadow Fiend where the fight started. and I just don't even know. At this point,
That's pretty much game.
Like-
I don't like being biased at all or anything, but that was like the last fight really for Newbie to get back into the game, shutting down the Shadow Fiend even more. But now he's got a mechanism. Brood has 2,000 gold on top of the Midas, and even in the later stages of the game, Newbie lose. Like Newbie just lose from the beginning to the end. It feels like, and that's pretty funny. Ohio spawn webs, almost couldn't get into it.
Yeah, sometimes you need to use the Quelling Blade just to kind of get the webs working for you because all that path blocking. But in this case, yeah, he's dominating the jungle. They have no routes of farm. Moo is pretty much as farmed as he's gonna get. Like Aghanim Scepter is a pipe dream right now. We'll see them kind of contest the jungle more directly, see what they can do. Hookshot connects on to catch again, but that's a free kill. And Nova is stolen. So now it's going to be Johnny coming in. Burrow strike across onto 2. Wrath of Nature bringing Johnny low, and he'll fall too. Mushi coming in from the sidelines though. Just needs one more right click. Can't get it. Settles for Rabbit instead, which is fine. It's a Drow carry, and Moo will fall to the next raise. KOXY on the northern front, bringing down one more, taking down Banana's Nature's Prophet. So all that said and done, they lose their 2 supports. They get 4 heroes, and they continue to build momentum. It's only some experience going the way of Newbie. They lose out on gold extensively, but try to get any experience you can to move to that next level. But for now, the push ensues. The Edict is at level 3, and this tower is not long for this world.
Newbie were pretty lucky there too with the Sand King not having mana for his epicenter, else that would have been a huge play coming in for Johnny there.
Do you think epicenter really would have shifted that fight? I feel like it would have been pretty much the same thing.
No. Yeah, they wouldn't have. Though they just lost 2 heroes when they wouldn't have lost 0. I think Malaysia would have just completely wiped them, and then they would have had all their heroes up, and then yeah, they just had all their heroes still.
I still think he blink Burrow strikes in, and then he has to epicenter right in front of people, which is
he can't really do that, right? It depends on how he wants to do it, right? If he blinks in Burrows, then you can't cast epicenter unless you have a BKB in this situation, and he's not going to have one now. Or he channels and then blinks in. So yeah.
Considering how the fight started, I think he still makes the blink Burrow play. But either way, they're at a point where you're going to see more from Johnny in the next few engagements. For now, he's just going to farm up some trees, get that sandstorm going on. But as he builds up towards like arcane boots and stuff like that, we're going to see some real potential from this blink dagger. Anyways, Crystal Maiden didn't actually scale her ultimate just yet. This ultimate has been buffed up so many times, but he goes for a 4-1-2 build. What do you think about that?
I kind of like having 3 in Arcane Aura. I don't know if 2 is enough. 3 is. I think 4 is overkill. This is just me when I play the hero. I think maxing Nova, if there's no Blink Dagger hero, like say there was a Queen of Pain or an Anti-Mage in this game, then you max Frostbite 100%. But with Crystal Nova, you're facing heroes that it can slow the movement speed, slow the attack speed, Drow, Wind Ranger. You have the creeps coming in from Nature's... I didn't even realize Treants transfer Nature's Call. Jeez. The Treants there. It's just way better overall to get that maxed out.
Sure. So, I mean, now he's got the ultimate, and it's not like he would have gotten it off easily against Clockwork and stuff like that, so it's kind of an afterthought pickup. Another thing is Rubik is great at spell stealing freezing fields, so you have to worry about that. But they did put a lot of time and effort into sieging this top lane. The tier 1's down up top, but now Newbie are retreating immediately from the tier 2, while Roshan goes away for free, and the Aegis goes to the Lesh. So full mana and HP a second time over for this fight, and heck, he's going to have Bloodstone pretty soon.
Bloodstone, jeez, man.
Yeah, he's like a recipe away from Bloodstone.
Yep. Disassemble, assemble the army. It's going to be really good for them. And Newbie need to make the play, right? It's all on them. Come on, Newbie, you got to make a play. They're kind of waiting on some items, though. They can maybe wait off for the Clockwork having his Blade Mail that helps out tremendously against Leshrac, against the Sand King, even against the Shadow Fiend if he doesn't have a BKB.
Ooh, gonna be able to pick off Banana. Nice jump there. And yeah, actually, Clockwork's gonna be going for a mechanism here, so not really gonna be reflecting much damage, because if you think about it, everybody's doing massive AoE damage. So if
he's just gonna like get bursted.
Yeah, if he pops the Blade Mail and he does reflects that damage, but it's from 4 different sources. You're pretty much taking down a quarter of your own health back their way. So I don't know. It's nice, but I don't know. Mechanism might put them back in the game.
The thing is, why I was saying that is because he had a blade mail plus 1,200 gold, right? He was like, all right, yeah, chainmail, and he was like, all right, well, I should probably go for the blade mail in this game just because of how much. But you're right, there is too much magic damage. They're so far behind, you can't go for it. They don't have another mech carrier, and they really need one.
Ooh, I don't know. Johnny's so close to picking off Rabbit. That would have been a huge play, jumping in on the Drow and getting Mushi to follow it up. But in the end, the long-range play jump doesn't work out. They just go ahead, creep clear very quickly. I would kind of say Mushi would like BOTs here, actually. I mean, obviously he wants a lot of things, but if he had BOTs, like, he could be so much more involved across the map, because they know the lanes are always going to be pushed in thanks to the Broodmother. They could kind of put out more pressure if they had that 45-second jump across the map.
And maybe. I think...
It's just a Nature's Prophet factor. I think Rocket Flare and Nature's Prophet, you're always going to get split pushed in. And because they have all these Radiant Towers down, the map is wide open. So it just feels like it's a good item for anybody to have on the side of Team Malaysia. But SF probably one of the better BOT carriers. I guess Leshrac could be pretty good too, now that he's disassembled his Arcanes.
It's just they clear out the wave so fast, right? You have the Brood with the Spiderlings, you have the Lightning Storm, you have the Shadow Fiend with Raises. I don't think they really need boots to travel. It's just their wave clear is tremendous this game. They don't need it yet, but I do agree that could be a lot of split pushing potential coming in from Newbie. It's just definitely not going to get there because they have so much wave clear.
So we're going to see them jump to the mid lane here. It's going to be Ohio stalking at Moo. Double damage or not, he's being pursued on, but he'll get the TP away successfully. And we're instead going to look over to KOXY, connecting on the Banana with a couple of spells, and just typical Broodmother contribution apparently. He just goes in and one quick jab at him will bring down the Nature's Prophet. Now Blink Dagger up on top of the Sanjin Yasha, on top of the Hand of Midas for Ohio.
I wonder when's the last time we've actually seen a Sanjin Yasha on a Broodmother. I mean, I can't remember ever seeing that.
I feel like I've seen it a couple times within like the past few months, but it's not your common pickup. Yeah. It's just like sometimes you're like, yeah, get all that movement speed. It's just, I don't know.
Movement speed, alright, so you already have max movement speed into the Broodmother. You already have incapacitating bite for the move slow of 40%. This is just like overkill in my mind. If you have the Orchid, it shuts down a lot more heroes. You don't really need the mana regen because you have CM this game. It adds a lot more survivability, right?
Because is there every time you're fighting outside your webs as Brood with the new charge system?
Ideally, he'll just have all of his webs up most of the time. He's got 2 right now, 3. It's just, well, High Ground Siege here coming in from KYXY. Edict online. Lightning going to be blown up. Ooh, he got the stun already.
Yeah, committing really hard here with his Aegis of the Immortal. He's going to do a lot of damage abruptly, and boom, the Shadow Fiend will be able to bring down the Rubik. KYXY does get Cog knocked back, but nice 4-staff play out. Even though he still gets shackled, he is completely in a safe position, and they can kind of just choose to go back in. We do see Nature's Prophet pushing up top at the moment, teleport at the ready, but it looks like they're going to commit at least to the tier 3 tower. No, the creep wave's been cleared, so they will fall back. They will TP up top, and well, that will delay the game a little bit. That'll stretch things out for Newbie to try to bring it back a little bit more. I'm actually kind of surprised that Clockwork didn't go for a hookshot play in the MY's retreat. As soon as one TP goes through from a single hero, you have actually a pretty good opening to try to make that jump and try to pick off one person in retreat.
Yeah, they have a 4-staff though from KYXY. He did TP as you're saying, so if they could have gotten one. Oh, Ohio's under a Sentry Ward here. Oh, blink away. Did they see that smoke? I don't think so. There's no wards up, but
the spiders are now tracking Moo at least. So they might just think he's farming alone. No Junes have revealed as well now. So it's pretty much already done. Rabbit will pop the BKB. Ohio cut out 1v3 a little bit, but he can pick and choose his battles pretty easily right now. And that just forces the BKB that Rabbit has been farming this entire game.
Almost looking good for, I would say, Newbie. Maybe finding something. BKB pop though from Rabbit and forced to run away. They didn't know where the rest of Malaysia was. If they'd known it was like a 3v3, maybe get some people over there, they could have potentially fought. But not having the information we do, is safer just to back out from Team Newbie here.
So right now we're looking at over 15,000 net worth in favor of Team Malaysia, 12,000 experience advantage. Newbie really in a tough spot as far as trying to bring this one back, but some real items are coming up. I mean, the Aghanim Scepter is up for the Wind Ranger, so she's going to be doing some massive damage here with the Precision Ore. 55 bonus thanks to the Drow. And, of course, the Ag Scepter at level 2 ultimate only reduces her damage output by 15%. So 85% of that damage still going right to the jugular, and that's one of the highest synergies in the game as far as like damage per second from just a few items here and there. Like if you have to run a kind of bare bones, I have nothing to work with type of a build, it's got to be Precision Aura and Focus Fire. Like these skills just do so much together.
Right. It's like having a cheap Desolator or something. There's just so much. He's getting 55 damage, but not having the damage reduction. KYXI can be hooked here. I was gonna. There it is. The shackle.
Wow! Great jump there. Great shackle shot. Now we're gonna see Johnny's rebuttal as he jumps in. Burrow Strike, Sandstorm. Mushi unwinds the ultimate. The Requiem comes out, and he does pick up Clockwork on the tail end. The Epicenter kind of whiffed, and the BKB forced out. Nature's Prophet taking down the tier 2 top, doing his Rat Dota thing, and the racks are still holding in the mid. As obviously the Leshrac dropped down too early, all the ultimates have been expended, and that's Newbie to make an okay trade, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, if Furion even comes back, he's just useless. Hero can't do anything. Only thing he can do is sprout into a shackle, but he already landed a great shackle there from Moo, setting up, and with the whiff there from Johnny, I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do with that epicenter, but definitely have to back out after that. And, well, they're going to be making a play on Moo, I would say, here.
Oh, yeah. He is in way too deep. Now the Frostbite locks him in place. Phase Boots, Wind Run, it doesn't matter. You're locked in. The Shackle Shot, however, will immediately interrupt the Freezing Field, which is now stolen by the Rubik. Sancheng has one up his sleeve, and we'll see if he can put it back out. For now, it's a hook shot blocked out by the Spiders. They'll dust everything. They'll go for the Rocket Flare, but in the end, they're not really finding an opening. And they really don't want to contest this ramp. Sancheng, it's spider farming time. Call the Orkin Man. Freezing Field is online, and he does actually get some damage out, but now is going to be hit by Johnny. Under the Sentry Ward, though, Johnny is now in the cogs with Jude, and Moo is doing some damage. Aghanim Scepter, Focus Fire, going to work. Great Shackle Shot, double kill from Moo, and now Mushi is all alone. Blink Dagger will get him out, but jeez. What a turn of events for Newbie. 2,400 gold up, 700 down for Malaysia, and 3,100 experience distributed evenly. Malaysia just take an awkward engagement into kind of a, I would say, demilitarized zone. There was just so much kind of zoning going on that there's no way that you would reasonably go into that fight, but they were just so confident, and that just makes the muddier fall.
Yeah, they need to be careful, though. There's no BKB on Rabbit, and there's no BKB on Mushi, though.
Oh, nice
but
silence.
Mushi
unwinds a huge ultimate, gets the raise down, double kill instantly, Blink Dagger, surprise, and that is going to be a huge wipeout. Newbie buying back twice over. Mushi just jumping in with a huge Blink Dagger play. Nothing to respond. They've used all their disables to knock back KOX by gusting him and stunning him, and then suddenly Mushi. Now Johnny's got that epicenter. They want these racks. They force 2 buybacks. They have 20 seconds on the clock and catching him, but does have that ultimate once again. So we'll see June kind of playing around with his hook shot a little bit, but Mushi on the front line here. There's no shackle, no trees. But there's the Burrow Strike onto Rabbit. BKB is available, but is not going to get used. It's a dieback for Rabbit. June locked in his own cogs, is going down to the nukes, and that might just be it. The dieback keeps Drow out of the fight. The Spellsteel Lightning Storm is going to be insufficient to repel them and keep the racks alive, and that's going to be melee down at least if they keep focusing. But they're spreading their damage a little bit here. Finally the melee racks will fall, and now we look if they're going to go for the range. It's a good gold bounty and a good bit of momentum, and it looks like they will finish that off before they retreat. Mushi getting shackled. Johnny looking for the Burrow Strike, but does not connect. And just has to Sandstorm away, trying to cover their retreat. Looks like Moo will be able to pick up one if Malaysia tried to kind of leave them behind, but obviously they're moving away together, and they're going to make sure that no man is left behind.
Yep. Just get your Rex and get out of Dodge there. Really well played. I mean, it just goes to show if you push onto that tier 1 tower, you got to be ready. Oh man, Requiem into the Sand King. Barrow strike. Big plays coming out from Malaysia's 2 players, Mushi and Johnny. So next on the list will be this Roshan big boy, and Newbie need to find these rockets, keep rocketing, get this hook shot, get Moo in there with the shackles, and really turn this game around.
Right now, the game is only 21-8, but that's a far cry from what we're seeing as far as the numbers go. 21,000 net worth, almost 20,000 experience. Malaysia are taking so much in terms of map dominance and controlling the Radiant jungle, taking down all the outer tier towers, now taking a full lane in the mid. And Newbie have to make something happen here. So June looking for the hook shot. Doesn't find it. It's a blink dodge from Mushi. Oh, they needed that kill so much. And in the end, it's just a quick jump away the second he smells something fishy.
I'm not going to say that was kind of misplayed, but it looked like it. They popped the smoke before he hooked. Honestly, he should have just... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe worried people were behind him. Try to sync it up in time, but Mushi's fingers... Holy shit, that was fast. That's all I got to say. And now, there's a BKB on the Broodmother here. And... he's immortal. He's immortal. There's no way they can even control him. He's just going to blink in, pop BKB, and just go on the Drow Ranger, most likely. You'll have the Wind Ranger, focus fire, but she'll probably save it for somebody else, and it's very scary right now.
This is where you'd really like to have a Solar Crest for this Broodmother. Just be like, get off. Don't. If you don't connect with all your incapacitating bites, then maybe you won't be able to lifesteal enough, and maybe we can nuke you down.
Right.
But as it is...
4 staffs are good, too. They have one being built on June, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, Windrun's obviously powerful. That's going to be really good for kiting, but that's one hero of the 5. You have to otherwise use Cogs very carefully to knock him back, and just try to keep him away from his target, because otherwise he's just going to tear through you. And, yeah, we're seeing his webs are running out, so he's going to have to spin some new ones in some new locations. But as a whole, Ohio is looking large and in charge in this game. He's at 15,000 net worth, just behind the Leshrac and Shadow Fiend of his own team.
And, well, not much Drow can really do in this later stages of the game with just a Yasha and a BKB as well. I mean, is it time for the Hail Mary play for Rabbit? Just go Mask of Madness. Try to pump out as much DPS as possible. I mean, it's looking like that. Butterfly is not too bad on him, but I don't think Rabbit's going to get that item before the next team fight. No, he's just going to be going for the... No, he bought the Sage and then he sold it. He's teasing me.
I think Manta's pretty good here. I mean, Frostbite is still a significant point of frustration. Maybe they'll just spawn Spiderlings or something like that. It's not ideal with all the AoE damage, but in the end, you're just trying to build up your stats. More HP, more agility for the Wind Ranger. The Drow isn't the carry here. She's the enhancer to make the carry work, and that's the Wind Ranger. But we'll see. A hook shot going in. Nice jump in from Mushi on the back line. Just tearing through Rabbit. Already taking down the Drow, and with that, taking her Precision Aura to the grave, they'll just kill off everybody else. Rubik's gone. Clockwork's gone. Drow's gone.
GG.
Losing nothing. And the GG comes out. Team Malaysia have 2-0'd Newbie, who had 2-0'd IG. Team Malaysia best in the East? I don't know, but we'll be testing that soon because they're going to the final round of the lower bracket, going to be taking on LGD or Vici Gaming tomorrow. Whoever loses the next match will be taking on Team Malaysia, who are looking damn fine here in iLeague China. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. Of course, this was that lower bracket semifinal. It is going to be the elimination of Newbie from this tournament. And yeah, now there are 3. Now it's LGD, it's Vici, and it's Malaysia, and we'll see who's going to be triumphing. For now, Malaysia will get to rest on their laurels a little bit, watch the next match, and see what their game plan is for tomorrow. But we're going to be jumping into some more action. I believe we're going to be switching out streamers, or at least casters a little bit. And we'll figure that out as we get a little bit closer. But we've still got about 25 minutes before the next match, which I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, is the upper bracket final between LGD and Vici.
Yeah, thank God there's no more Ryucast, man. Jeez, what a plebeian. No, really well played. I think Malaysia outpicked them and then definitely outperformed Newbie. And I thought Newbie could have a chance in the last 2 games with how well they did against IG, but no. Kings of the East so far, it's looking like Malaysia. I hope they can keep up the pressure. Watching their play style, it's really aggressive and it's early and it's really fun to watch. And I enjoyed casting them as well as I enjoyed last games as well. And maybe I'll stick around, might go die. I'm not tired at all. I got all that energy, Blaze. Give it to me. Give it to me. But thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Happy to be able to cast these ones with you, and it's been, I mean, some really good games. I mean, obviously they were a bit one-sided. We saw a huge momentum swing for Newbie and then against them, but still, it's overall been some really good Dota and some new meta strats for 6.84. So, looking forward to see what Malaysia in particular pull out tomorrow. But so far, it's been a lot of fun, and thanks for coming on, man.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
All right, guys. Well, we've got about a 25-minute break before we go into the next match. It should be LGD versus Vici Gaming. I believe Lysander and I will be covering that. I'll get more information to you guys as we get it all figured out. But that wraps up this match here today. Team Malaysia victorious, and we'll see them tomorrow in the lower bracket final. Thanks for tuning in.